Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of Healthwise, your one-stop educative and informative family talk show. As always, my name is Adishegun Temitokwe. Today we'll be discussing an extremely important topic, you and your heart. You will agree with me when I say extremely important. You're welcome to Healthwise. I have with me the Director of Critical Care Unit, LASSOS, Dr. Ade Tunumbu. Thank you so much for coming, sir. A round of applause for Dr. Ade. Beside Dr. Ade, we have a honorable consultant cardiologist, senior lecturer at LASSOS, LASSOCOM Ikeja. A round of applause for Dr. Adebola. Thank you so much for coming, sir.
You're welcome.
We'll go on a commercial break, and we'll stay here on Healthwise. Thank you. I would like to ask Dr. Ade, what exactly does it mean to have a healthy heart?
Having a healthy heart is having a heart that is able to support you to be able to do your physical activities, your daily activities.
Okay.
If your heart is good, then you should be able to get around to do whatever you need to do.
Okay.
To live a good life.
Okay, so how do you know you have a healthy heart? What are the signs? How will you feel? What do you expect? How will you know that you really have a healthy heart?
Well, if you feel fine, nothing is wrong with you,
okay?
Chances are you have a good heart. But when your heart is bad, there are certain signs and symptoms that you may have that may start pointing you to the fact that...
You want to tell us some of the signs and symptoms?
Some of it is getting tired easily.
Okay.
Walking short distance and you become short of breath.
Okay.
Another signs will be pains in the chest. With activity, any little thing you start experiencing pain in your chest. It's even worse if you're sitting and you're not doing anything and you have chest pains.
Okay.
Having irregular heartbeats where your heart seems to be raising and stopping may be another thing that.
Okay, I would like to ask Dr. Adebola, do some people have bigger hearts than others?
Well, that's an interesting question because just like we differ as individuals from one another in terms of our weight and our height,
okay,
not just the heart, but the various organs in the body also vary in sizes.
Okay.
However, we have references. In other words, we have a particular range that we expect depending on the patient's weight, the patient's height. And for example, if we do a chest X-ray, which is one of the investigations we use to determine the size of the heart, there is a range we expect on the X-ray that will tell us that this heart is within normal size. And we don't expect the heart size on the X-ray, for example, to be more than 50% of the total chest cavity. That is, if we measure the size of the heart from the left border to the right border, it should not be more than half of the size of the total width of the chest from the left border to the right border at the level of the diaphragm. And that is what we call cardiothoracic ratio. Of course, there are also some other investigations that will tell us that, look, this heart is within the normal range.
Okay.
And these are more advanced investigations like echocardiography. I don't want to bore us with the details because these are technical terms. But for example, most of the problem that occurs with the heart affects the left side of the heart. And when we measure the left side of the heart on echo, the normal range varies between, on the average, 48 millimeter and 58 millimeter. Of course, that is standardized for echo. So by the time you are having a person with a left ventricular cavity or size that is greater than 58, then that gives the impression that the heart is enlarged, irrespective of the heart of the height
Are there
of the patient.
symptoms the person would have to know that the heart is bigger than what?
Yes, definitely. And most of those symptoms Dr. Tinubu has referred to.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is that generally, irrespective of the underlying heart condition, invariably, what eventually happens is that the heart begins to get bigger and bigger. And this it does at the expense of muscle strength.
Wow.
You know, the heart is a muscular organ. That is why it can pump blood. And just like the normal muscle, I mean, like somebody that is exercising, you expect a viable and strong muscle. But by the time a disease process is affecting the heart gets bigger. And we use the terminology dilate. It dilates and stretches the fibers of the muscle, and the muscle becomes weak. And that is why over time the patient is not able to cope with daily activity, just as Dr. Ade Tinubu mentioned. So the funny thing is, most times we say bigger is better, but when it comes to the heart, the smaller, the better.
The better. Oh, thank you very much, Doctor. Thank you so much. A round of applause for Doctor. Dr. Ade Tinubu, what are the causes of heart problems?
When you look at heart problems, there are various things that could happen.
Okay.
There are some things that we call congenital problems with the heart.
Okay.
Those congenital things are things that the person is born with.
Okay,
a
so
defect that the person is born with. Okay. Not hereditary necessarily,
okay,
but in the developmental process in pregnancy, the heart may not be properly formed.
Wow. Wow.
Some parts of it may be deformed, some things may be missing. The vessels around the heart may not be properly formed. So those are the congenital things that people are born with. And then there are things that develop over time. It could be from disease, from infection. Or it could be from the things that we do, like the food that we eat and lack of exercise, that over time causes damage to the heart.
I really want you to talk more on how physical activity can actually enhance a heart.
Well, like Dr. Adebola had said, the heart is a muscle.
Okay.
When you exercise it, like any muscle, it's supposed to become stronger. So physical exercise will tone the muscle, will cause your heart, when you're exercising, you're supposed to exercise to get your heart rate to a certain level.
Okay.
What that does, it enhances the function of the heart. What you want the heart to be able to do is each time it pumps, to pump as much blood out as possible. So when it does that, then it doesn't have to beat as many times. The less frequently your heart beats when you're resting, the better it is, and it's the exercise that will condition the heart to be able to work that effectively.
Dr. Tinubu, what kind of exercise?
Usually aerobic exercises.
Okay.
Running, doing aerobic exercises, swimming, those type of exercises that causes your heart beat to increase.
How about dancing?
As you do. Dancing will do the same. Dancing will do the same thing.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Adebola, would you want to shed more light on that, sir?
Yes, actually it's recommended that the average adult, as much as possible, should exercise for at least a minimum of 30 minutes on each occasion for at least 2 to 3 times a week on a regular basis. And preferably aerobic exercise, as he has mentioned, including, of course, swimming, cycling, etc., etc. And however, we also advise that for those who are starting for the first time, especially those who are above 50, it's important that they carry out a cardiac evaluation.
Okay.
In other words, it's important for them to see a doctor to certify that their heart is fit enough to start exercise. Now, this is important because, just as we've been saying, there are people who have heart problem and they may not know because they are not involved in physical activity.
Wow.
But the moment you put more demand on the heart in terms of exercise, this hidden salient underlying heart condition now become manifest.
But doctor, wouldn't they prefer not to exercise at all? No. That?
Yes, wait, okay, not necessarily. Because as Dr. Adetinubu mentioned, the exercise conditions your heart.
Okay.
But you don't want to condition a heart that is already bad. What we're saying is that there are some people who already have underlying heart condition.
Okay.
But because they don't exercise, those conditions are not manifest. And the moment they start exercise, suddenly the condition may be manifest. For example, they can even die, they can have sudden heart attack.
Wow.
In a patient who already have a diseased heart, but because he's not stressing, and this is particularly more important in executives, because usually they don't have any cause to stress their heart.
Exactly.
I mean, from air condition office to air condition
The
and
driver
all that.
is driving them.
Excellent. So, without belaboring the point, it's important to emphasize that anybody above 50, even if it's not a known patient with underlying cardiac disease, who wants to now start regular exercise in order to condition his or her heart, must go for his or her medics in terms of physical examination, in terms of basic heart tests like electrocardiogram, to certify that the heart is fit enough to even start that exercise so that he doesn't run into trouble. And over time, as the individual begins to exercise, the heart becomes more conditioned. And what we also advocate as a sort of that is that the exercise must be graded over time. You don't wake up one day because the doctor has said, okay, you can now start exercise, and then you want to compete with, is it Ben Johnson or whoever is Usain Bolt. It has to be a gradual thing. You might need to start walking, maybe in your house over time. You can start maybe for 15 minutes at each episode. You increase it to 30 minutes. And then with time, you start jogging gradually so that your heart becomes more conditioned. Assuming, of course, that is the type of exercise that is preferred in your own situation. And over time, the heart responds. Just as he mentioned, you notice that the heart rate now begins to stabilize and drops. Because a heart that is conditioned does not need to pump faster to get blood to the system. When it's pumping faster, it means that there is a problem. And that is why athletes tend to have low heart rate, because their heart is properly conditioned. The exercise will also improve cardiovascular fitness generally, just as we are saying. It will improve the blood pressure.
Okay.
It will improve the cholesterol. And in fact, some people even believe that exercise to some extent can even prevent some cancers.
Okay.
There's a suggestion that cancer, like cancer of the prostate, that some people who exercise regularly are less at risk.
Thank you so much, sir. We take a look at this drama sketch to further enlighten us on how to take care of our heart. Thank you.
Madam Shade. Hurry up now, I'm hungry. Don't say.
I'm bringing it, ma. Isn't this food too much?
My dear, look at your size and mine. Let me tell you, ask your daddy. The adult that does not have enough flesh is either poverty-stricken or greed is disturbing the adult.
The adult that is eating heavy fatty food late at night is simply knocking on a door, and soon enough the landlord will open that door. Landlord being cardiac arrest. I really hope you know what you're doing.
There's no salt in this food, though. Madam Shade, come. When do you start serving me 3 pieces of meat in this house? I don't have enough meat in the house again. Bring meat, I beg.
Bring me to.
I'm short.
Sorry, yeah.
Thank you. Help me get water. Auntie, you're eating again? But we ate before everybody came back from school and work, and before I left for my jogging. Auntie, this is not healthy, oh.
Oh, my in-law. My brother's wife's sister. See, my brother is not complaining about dropping money for upkeep in this house. And besides, because that thing we had earlier, meal, Please, oh, I don't want to be like yourself and your sister. People will not feed well. Yes, at night, you'll be running up and down. I think something is chasing you.
Auntie, it is called exercise. And one of these days, I'll drag you along with me.
You literally have to drag her. Look at her size now. GP tank. She will not hear. Please, tell her.
What's all this argument about? Me, jog. It's not me. Not even with this constant headache I have every night. Never.
Talking about this headache of yours, but that's been there since forever. If you don't want to go jogging with me, you should at least follow me to the hospital tomorrow morning.
Hospital? Hospital? Hey. Hello, when you go to. Why would I go to the hospital? It is only sick people that go to the hospital. Look at me now, I'm healthy, as big as I am. I'm very good. The headache, in as much as I take my regular painkiller, I am fine.
Auntie me. Just follow her, okay? Escort her. You are not doing anything in the house now. You can as well just tag along. What's the big deal now?
Aburo me. Oh, they gave me really. Two of you join hands together. They may have GP tank and carry me away and take me to the hospital. Well, let me have this food in peace. Madam Shade, where is the salt now? Okay. I'm me too. I promise. I am dead. I am dead, yeah. Hey. Doctor says that I have high blood pressure. That I am 1,000 over 900.
1,000 over 900?
If I'm finished, in this house somebody will die. Hey, am I going to be right?
Auntie, first of all, there's nothing like 1,000 over 900. You're such a drama queen. Yes, the doctor said you have high blood pressure, but what that means is that you should stop taking too much fatty food and stop eating too much salt.
And stop eating late at night. Please. What exactly did the doctor say?
Well, he said she needs to stop eating too much fatty food. She needs to eat healthier. She stop eating too much salt.
Okay.
She needs to work out.
Good.
You get your lunch and now this is your dinner, eh?
Hey! It is said that the ant that is eating the vegetable is inside the vegetable. So it is me you guys have brought all this for.
Auntie, we are not greedy. I mean, there's no poverty here, and we have enough food at home. So let's show you. Okay.
Enjoy nǹkan. Èmi kọ́ lè máa pa. Ṣé ilé àgbà gbé kúrò ní tí bá wọ̀ yìí? Go watch me. Excuse me. Can you imagine?
Auntie, where are you going?
Right now, the road is my doctor. I'm going to chase him.
Who is chasing you?
1,000 over 900. I am chasing my health.
Should they help you add salt into your food when you are coming back?
Add salt and eat it.
Well, thank you very much. This is the precaution segment. I am Olatubo Osuntaiwo. There was a time when no one thought about the condition of the heart unless they had a close call. After having chest pains or even a heart attack, a doctor might suggest steps to take, and then people would begin to change their lives. Now, it has become increasingly obvious that the time to think about these issues is before problems develop. Here are some ways you can begin. Exercise regularly. A regular workout is good for your heart as well as your waistline. You do not have to bench press heavy weights or run marathons. Anything that will elevate your heart rate to a good target level should be sufficient. The right level for good
heart health should be somewhere between your resting heart rate and your maximum heart rate. Eat colorful, low-fat meals. If you eat assorted colors of vegetables and fruits, you'll be getting a variety of vitamins and minerals too. Get good sleep. Getting enough rest is vital to good heart health. A strong correlation seems to exist between a lack of sleep and developing certain heart conditions. It appears that 7 to 8 hours is about right, while 5 or less can be harmful. Reduce your stress. Stress not only creates problems within your body, such as dangerously elevated levels of certain hormones, it also may contribute to how you manage your other risks. Take fish oil supplements. Fish oil supplements can lower those triglycerides significantly or keep them at a healthy level. Try garlic supplements. You may or may not decide to use them as a part of your daily regimen. The evidence on whether garlic helps your heart is mixed. It seems to lower blood cholesterol somewhat and may lower blood pressure. It can be helpful, and many people have seen good results from using it. It is not a dangerous substance by any means, so it would not hurt to try. You can get a supplement containing plant sterols. Plant sterols are well known for their ability to maintain low cholesterol levels. They work by imitating cholesterol and preventing its absorption into the body. They can be found added to certain foods or in capsule form as supplements. And finally, it is never too early to think about taking care of your heart. It is important to see your doctor and discuss all the ways you can live a healthy life. Not all methods are suitable for everyone, and only you and your doctor can decide. However, these 7 parts to heart health and wellness are a good place to begin the conversation. Don't forget to send your questions and contributions to the email address on your screen. Like our Facebook page, Healthwise. You can also follow us on Twitter at HealthwiseNG. To watch this episode again, it's available for you on YouTube, Healthwise Nigeria. Join us next week for the concluding part of this topic. Thanks for watching.